Welcome, gentle listener. I am Baldermort, your faithful servant, and I wish to introduce you to the forces, factions, and important faces of the Warhammer 40k setting, the grim darkness of the far future, where there is no time for peace, there is only time for war. And today, we are to introduce one of the characters that bucks the trend, that could well be the epitome of the exception proving the rule. For at first glance, upon first hearing the lore, you may well believe that this is a rarity beyond measure, a gem without peer, a Necron overlord, a mighty Nemesaur and Pharaon that is actually altruistic and serving a higher purpose that borders on, if not fully wrapping itself within, a cloak of seeming nobility. So, as usual, for the very basics, let us lean on existing wisdom. To quote, Anrakyr the Traveller. Some see Anrakyr as the ultimate expression of Necron stellar supremacy, an indefatigable warrior whose crusade for unity is nothing short of inspirational. Other Necron nobles see him as a rogue, an opportunist and a privateer little better than the plundering vermin of the lesser races. Anrakyr cares not either way, so long as he is able to continue his quest. Anrakyr storms into battle with his war scythe swinging in vicious, decapitating arcs. Should a towering bastion or mighty enemy bar his path, he merely raises his tachyon arrow and, with a thunderclap that could split a mountain in two, erases his target from existence. Should the foe send war engines against Anrakyr, their shocked crews may find themselves suddenly unable to control their vehicles' weapon systems. The Traveller can project his consciousness into the machineries of the lesser races and bend their crude spirits to his will, making heavy cannons and energy blasters swivel suddenly to new targeting coordinates before unleashing punishing salvos that blow the enemy's commanders, elite warriors, or accompanying armor assets to smoldering pieces. Nor does Anrakyr fight alone, of course. His legions are inveterate campaigners all, battle-scarred and deadly. At their heart march the Pyrian Eternals, Necron soldiers that hail from Anrakyr's own crown world, and who have fought at his side for hundreds of years. Few enemies can long withstand the assault of this rarefied cadre, of those Necrons who are as indomitable and resilient in close quarters as they are at range. What truly makes Anrakyr remarkable is not his skill in battle, however prodigious it may be. Instead, it is his ceaseless campaigning and the goal he seeks to achieve. Anrakyr fights not for the furtherance of his dynasty's greatness at the expense of all others, but rather of the greatness of the Necrons as a whole. Upon awakening from the great sleep, Anrakyr was fortunate enough to find himself hale and whole, with his faculties intact and his will undimmed. It did not take him long to grasp the true situation that the Necrons found themselves in, scattered, lost, and awakening in increments while surrounded by hostile foes. Had the Silent King already declared his return, Anrakyr would undoubtedly have rallied to his banner as the uniter and saviour of the Necron race. Robbed of such a figurehead, however, Anrakyr took it upon himself to become one. Thus he became the Traveller, leaving the rule of his crown world Pyria in others' hands, and taking the vast majority of his military might off into the stars. Anrakyr vowed to travel from one Necron world to the next, awakening those that still slumbered, and defending those that were under attack, until at last the Necron dynasties were all fully restored, and their race ruled the galaxy once again. His self-appointed mission has proven challenging, however, in ways that Anrakyr did not foresee. For one thing, the maps and charts he possesses are eons out of date, making it tremendously difficult to locate each world. Even when he does, Anrakyr often finds the cold, dead ruin of tomb complexes already long plundered by the lesser races. At such times he descends with furious violence upon the transgressors, always hoping that word of such examples will spread and dissuade further trespassers. To his frustration, it never does. As Anrakyr's mission drags on, his ranks are depleted. In order to maintain the momentum of his crusade, the Traveller demands a tithe of military might from every Necron world he encounters, awakens, or rescues. Sometimes this is given willingly enough, but on occasion he is accused of extortion and brigandry and must take his reinforcements by force. Such incidents sadden Anrakyr, for he cannot understand how all of his race do not share in his vision or zeal. However, he pushes on regardless, certain that when at last his quest is complete, all of his race will understand and applaud his vision. Tachyon Arrows. A Tachyon Arrow is an intricate Necron wrist-mounted directed energy weapon worn by Necron royalty, like Necron Overlords, Necron Lords, and Necron Destroyer Lords. When activated, it transmutes a sliver of inert metal into an unstoppable thunderbolt capable of piercing the heart of a mountain. Such a weapon has near infinite range and is able to penetrate almost any form of armor, including that of Titans. The only disadvantage to this astounding item is that its strange ammunition supply is exhausted with a single shot, and is far too complicated to be reloaded in the midst of combat. End quote. And so we hear about the quest of Anrakyr, the seemingly selfless crusade to save his people. But is this all? For when we look at it, when we dig a little deeper, are his actions not just deferred selfishness? Is he not questing to become a well-known lord amongst a thriving race, on top of the entire galaxy? What would happen if Anrakyr was to be told his race would not be in charge when his quest was ended? What would he do? Would he actually selflessly continue, believing the goal more important than the virtue or reward he may reap? Or would he return to his crown world and bunker up? Is he doing this out of the kindness of his heart? Anrakyr? Really? Born to the purple, immortal, soulless Necron Lord, who assisted the slaughter of the Old Ones, who helped prepare the banquet table for his Dark Catan masters, where all of the races of the galaxy were the fair, the feast itself. Can we truly believe that Anrakyr is not as soulless and rotten and cold at his core, merely because he wishes to resurrect the grandeur of an undying court of horrors to rule over the entire galaxy in perpetuity? And all that aside, what will be the fate of ardent and loyal Anrakyr now his liege, the Silent King, has returned? For it seems that the mightiest Nemesis the galaxy has ever seen, Imhotep, the Stormlord, is not prepared to bend the knee. Will Xandrak break with his lord Imhotep, as they are both within the overall umbrella of Sautek dynasty, and take his place at the Silent King's side? Or will he cleave to his local lord? For Xandrak is one of the only others who may be able to threaten Imhotep. Or will it be Anrakyr that is made the overall Nemesis, the right hand of Cesarek? If so, will we see the strategic and tactical genius of Imhotep matched against the martial brilliance and personal combat skill of Anrakyr and his elite guards? A battle worthy of the reporting, I feel. But only time will tell. I have been Baldermort, your faithful servant. Hope you've enjoyed this brief introduction to Anrakyr the Traveller. If so, then please consider liking and subscribing. If you do, then also hit the notifications button, as I would not want you to miss out. Please also be aware that a quick share of the video goes a long way to the continuation of our little site and community. Now, no matter what you do today, do try to make time for fun. Toodaloo.